Good morning. It's Adam here. We're exploring the Class 6 roads of New Hampshire in this series with a leaking clutch slave cylinder on the Husky 701 Enduro LR. I've had the clutch slave gasket and O-ring replaced. The Recluse, by the way, it's not the OEM, and it's still leaking, so it's a little bit there's more play than I would like, but don't have time to deal with it on this trip, and so we're just going to be having fun. So I've got two maps open of nhroads.com here and the Garmin here. The Garmin shows Class 6 roads. The one I just passed, Goodell Lane, appears to be blocked off from this direction, and so we're going to come up from the other direction. If we get stuck, we'll just go around it. I'll tell the homeowner, like as I go through their backyard, that I'm on a Class 6 road. It is what it is. So, intro. This is going to be a series of a few videos. I'm just going to experiment and see how it goes. And instead of talking about nothing for, I'm hoping 12 videos, but we'll see. I'm here for 7 weeks. What I think I want to do, and by the way, we're in Lyme, New Hampshire, if I didn't mention that already. I think I want to do a series on philosophy. Totally not even like typical content that you're all used to. However, I grew up in a very philosophy-heavy household with a father who is not only a martial artist leader, but also a spiritual leader, and not from a place of religion, but a place of philosophy and sort of understanding yourself. And I thought, I came up with the 5 or 6 concepts that I want to talk through with you all, and these are kind of based on his teachings. And, you know, worst case scenario, if you want to see some LR off-road videos, then you can just mute it. But if you want to have some coffee and just sort of hang out with me and talk through kind of philosophical concepts, and maybe you won't learn anything, but you'll reflect, it might be a lot of fun. And at the same time, we'll be doing Class 6 road exploration here in New Hampshire. And so we might get stuck at some point in the woods, might go bushwhacking, we might, you know, you never know what we're going to find. But it's going to be fun. It's going to be little short, 30-minute videos, short, but no editing. I'm just going to be exploring dirt roads with you all, talking about philosophy. And if this doesn't stick and people are like, this is stupid, Adam, you're out of your element, I went to school for this, shut up. Okay. Got it. We'll go back to doing dirt bike riding and me talking about myself. So we're currently on Market Street of Lime Green. We're hitting a left on, looks like Goodell Lane. And I'm going to talk to you guys today about, let's see, got dogs up here, probably off leash, about monkey suits and ego, and kind of talking about ourselves and dogs. Hi. Morning. How are you? And so, you know, when you have your as you're assimilating as a child, we start developing our ego ego is like a negative term, but it's not really a negative thing. It's really there's your true self, and some of us actually get pretty far away from our true selves to the point where we don't even know ourselves anymore, and our suit, our ego, our social contract we make with the world ends up becoming us. And it takes a lot of therapy and reflection to really get down to who we are as people. And same thing with monkey suit. Monkey suit can seem like a big bad thing or a shell, but it's really all it is. It's the mask or the suit or the costume that you put on when you go out into the world. Out into the world could be just waking up. You're yourself when you're asleep, and every other moment with your spouse, with your kids, with your family. You are someone different. See, this road says it goes right, but I think there's a left-hand turn up here. We'll see. And that social contract, that suit starts developing at a very young age. It's really as soon as we have recognition of us and who we are that makes us different. That's a very expensive-looking horse farm. All right, so this is gonna go right here, but the left-hand turn is somewhere else. It's right here. Oh, there it is, right there. Well, let's see if we'll go up here and we'll see how it connects. It says it goes, it's called Goodell Lane, and it's going to connect over to Earl Street and then Baker Hill Road. It looks pretty treacherous, by the way. It has not been mowed, which that's fine. So we're just going to try it out and see what we find out here. Let's turn this guy on. Yeah, there we go. Let's go a little lower there. So the monkey suit for me, I started developing mine at a very young age. Traction control is off. We'll see how this goes. Might get shitty. The thing about Class 6 roads, they're kind of fun to explore, And we'll definitely get ticks on this. But it's mid-July, so it shouldn't be too muddy back here. So that suit that we all kind of don and wear comes from a lot of places. Your parents may tell you to be a certain way, act a certain way. You may be, I'm going to use a very extreme example, and it's maybe not as an example as a modern age, but it's more of an example of 10, 20, 100 years ago. But let's say that you are born a male and you want to wear women's clothes. Well, that's who you are. And however, this is actually a very nice Class 6 road. I'm kind of disappointed. But society says differently. And so your suit develops in a place where you may not feel like yourself initially wearing a suit and tie, but you do, because that's what your parents or your society or culture tells you to do. Also, your monkey suit could be something where, like, hey, you are naturally someone who lacks empathy or care, or maybe you care too much, and that's an issue that you very muddy there. That's something that you that's who you are. Is you are someone that really kind of gets yourself in trouble with how much you care, and so a little mud hole coming up here, and so you learn that in order to kind of make it in the world, you have to actually kind of fake being a jerk sometimes, but it's the only way for people to respect you and not walk over you. And I think one area of for me that is I see some black bears back here, by the way, because there's a lot of there are a ton of black bears in Lime right now. It's I guess it's getting bad, but there was an active decades-long conservation effort. There's a guy up here that wrote a book about black bears, and he, it's they're everywhere. So, I think look back to myself. I had the privilege of having a lot of different families, a lot of different primary families through multiple divorces. And so, one of my families was farmers, like, dairy farmers. Another one of my families was beach-going, kind of, beach bums, surfers. Another one of my families was, my very strong influence from my stepfather, which is, physical fitness, martial arts, working out. Another one of my influences was my biological father, which is, law enforcement, military, not rigid in a negative way, just rigid in like a process way. And then another family of mine was, Alabama, Native American, live off the land. And I had great relationships. We might get pretty gnarly pretty soon. A lot of these relationships were, I spent a lot of time with these people, and I almost like, I see this word assimilated, but like, I learned how to be a part of each of these families. We're in a rut, I think, which sucks. I want to get over in this little higher area here. Can we get out of this rut? Nope. Not wanting to rock the boat or not wanting to, make them feel like I wasn't one of them. I ended up kind of being a different person as a young age for every different family I would go to. Different accent, different style, different way of dressing, different mannerisms, different jokes. I mean, in my dairy farmer family, many of them were incredibly racist and, made racist jokes casually. And as a young 8, 9, 10-year-old, I don't believe in that. I don't dislike people of a different color, of a different background. But of course, as a young boy, you're laughing at their jokes because you're assimilating. You're not wanting to, be a different person. This is going to be a little climb here. And so, my suit was kind of a little confused at a young age because I didn't really know who I was, because I was different people. Sorry, I can't talk while I'm climbing this rocky hill. That was fun. That was fun, by the way. I haven't done shit like that in over a year. That was a lot of fun, guys. That was so much fun. And the monkey suit again extended for me to the way I treated people. In that, like, so, something that really pivotal that an adult said to me once when a young boy in one of these families was, you're always gonna be okay because people like you. You're gonna do well in the world. You're gonna have a good job. You're gonna have friends when you want. You're gonna get help when you need it because you're a very likable person. And that sounded really great. I appreciate it. That made me feel good. People like me. You want to be liked, right? But then they added, but you don't have much else going on. You're not very smart. You don't have a lot of, aptitude. You don't have a lot of focus. You don't have a lot of content, muster, blood, strength, guts, etc. And this is a person, obviously, that grew up working with their hands. And so I was a computer nerd. And so when you think about and the older you get, and the longer it's been since you've formed what your suit is, the odds of you being able to reconnect with it and actually understand where you end and your suit begins is actually quite hard to do. And then there's probably some of you who are like our retirement age, and you don't remember or care to connect with yourself, and you're like, well, what's the point now? I live alone. I do my own thing. What's the point in yeah, sure, I get that. I don't understand that. But there is, I would say you don't want to eliminate your suit, but you do want to understand that separation between where you end and your ego cultural norm begin. And the reason is, so I'm trying to take a picture. And the reason really comes down to, oh, keep that one. I'm not editing this video. The reason comes down to a lot of us who are unhappy with who we are, with our accomplishments, with our place in the world, our place in society, what we've achieved as adults, professionally, personally, who you've married, how much money you have, the recognition you've received, all these things. Everything that makes us us in the eyes of the world, that reflection that the world puts up for us. If those things that you've achieved, so for example, if your true self is, you just want to be you're very religious, you're very in touch with your spirituality, you are an individual who doesn't want monogamous love, or you want just one true best friend that you could open yourself up to, and you don't really need a lot of friends. However, your place in the world as a salesperson who travels a lot, has not been able to find religion, has lots of friends and contacts in their CRM database, and because of your schedule, you didn't find true love. And so the world, as John Doe Salesman of the Year, your monkey suit is fulfilled. You hold the mirror up to your monkey suit, and you're totally who you wanted to be. Congrats, you did it. But to your true self, you failed. And so then you wonder why you're depressed, why you're anxious, why you're not sleeping well, and then why that has a very direct impact on your health overall. Well, it's because you're not who you are. To use that extreme example, someone who was born homosexual, and because of all kinds of reasons, they create a monkey suit that is, a person ends up marrying someone of an opposite gender or sex and has a whole life. Of course they're happy with that person. That person's great. They married the best person of that gender for themselves. But it's not who they are. And so it's almost like mental dysmorphia, where your monkey suit has succeeded, but you have failed. And I think there's a lot of reasons for anxiety and depression. There's a lot of reasons for suicide. There's a lot of reasons for loneliness. There's a lot of reasons for heart disease and diabetes and stroke. But I think there is a root cause analysis that society isn't addressing enough of, which is getting to the philosophy of, who are you really? And are you that person? If I am happiest going to raves in Berlin every weekend, yet I was told dance music is a crime and Germany is a socialist republic, and I never end up going and doing that, or I go once and love it but never go back, then I'm not being who I'm supposed to be. And there is a lovely movie quote There, I want to make sure I'm not missing this road I want to explore next. Does Zumo freeze? Come on. Where's the power button? There's a lovely quote. No motorized vehicles allowed. Well, that's over there in that road. Oh yeah, that's that road. There's a little flower up there. That's because someone like me in the past did some bushwhacking back there. But here's the thing, guys. Let me look at the actual sign. If it's a Class 6 road on the map, then what I usually do is I go to the town office on Monday, which today's Monday, and say, hey, is this sign legal? Oh, it's a state of New Hampshire thing. They could have just downloaded that. I don't know. We'll see. That's this road, obviously, because the signs are in this, both sides of the line. I'm not really anything to talk about. I'm just trying to get my bearings straight here. The Zumo and the Zumo XT and Zumo XT2, great off-road devices, but man, they just... Okay, now we're good. We got a little farther till we get after our thing. There's a movie quote from, well, it's based, the movie Benjamin Button, based on the F. Scott Fitzgerald short story, which I read, and it's a totally shitty story compared to the movie, the book form of it. I'll overlay it here. And I think, it's written a little more literally because the book itself is about a guy who ages in reverse, so it's a little bit misworded for the intention, but you get the spirit of it. And I think this quote isn't just about, well, on face value, it's about the spirit of adventure, it's about the spirit of courage, the spirit of living without fear or feeling fear, where our intention is always to, but if you dive deep and down to that road of fear and excitement and courage, that's a left there. But look, that's definitely a road, but it's saying to keep left. But that would be, that would be East Street, which goes down See, I don't think that should be closed. I'm not going to go down it. I am going to go down it. But I'm going to go to the town office later. I think East Street should be open. This is the other side of that road that was closed earlier. Let's try it. Where does this go, though? I actually don't even know where the trail goes. It looks like it goes back there. But I've already lost the trail. This is a road, though. This is this is also the Royal C. Nemea Forest, which I need to look up jurisdiction of that one. But I'm not even seeing. It looks like the trail goes through there. Because all right. Well, we'll go to the town office today and ask them. We have more Class 6 roads to explore anyway. But I think that quote, if you dive deeper into it, actually kind of gets to the larger discussion around the monkey suit. Because if you, so there's just to connect. Yeah, we're going to take a left on Baker Hill Road. Maybe this is our exchange. Let's see what this does. This might be our road. I'm gonna be bushwhacking in here. That's the road to Baker Hill Road. That's fine. Let's see where this goes. Aha! Hey, this might end up where the that landowner had put a big log and gate around their thing. We'll see. This is damn pretty, guys. This is really pretty. Oh, there's an old house foundation over there. I love finding those too. So cool to see those. And the rock walls. But it's also used to be like goat and sheep farms back in the day. But I think that movie quote talks about the monkey suit in an indirect way. About still being able to feel anxiety and fear and sadness and hope and feeling alive at any age. No matter how big and heavy your suit gets, no matter how much that suit, that ego becomes you, and no matter how much of you, the true self becomes kind of like as you get older, the memories of your childhood become really hazy until they finally go away. Like I remember very vivid memories when I was 2 or 3 years old, but as I got older, they became, oh, there was a deer over there. They became more hazy, and now things that I had when I was 2 or 3 years old, I don't remember because it's been so long. And I don't access memory banks enough to keep them fresh. And so that's kind of the version of the true self that is, you know, becomes lost. And really only like therapy or really long conversations with either with yourself or a partner or a trusted friend really unlock those. That's why some people drink or do drugs, certain kind of drugs, in order to unlock those parts of their brain that they've had closed off due to time. And so if you're able to, at any age, even on your deathbed, if you're able to, on your deathbed, remember what you wanted to achieve, and honestly, it could be a new thing you want to achieve too. As long as you know what your true self is, then you can, this is about to get gnarly. If you know your true self was to, you know, spend every weekend at raves, then you could try something new at any age that's related to kind of that trueness, or be around people or strangers or have a close friend. You know, those are things that if you're connected with that part of yourself, then at any age you can reconnect to that part of yourself in a different way in order to find happiness. What a great way to narrate a road like this, by the way. Just give himself a break here. And I think that's the essence of that film quote. At the age of 90, you always wanted to bicycle around the world, and you do it. And maybe you will never get beyond New Hampshire. Maybe you never get beyond Staten Island. Maybe you take a ferry to Rotterdam and you get as far as, you know, the Luxembourg border and go, I actually don't like this. This isn't fun at all. Okay, that's fine. Good. But the crime is to let your suit dictate your future life and how you spend your days. And A, not know that was once your dreams or want something that would touch your true self. Or B, to know it and to never try it because of fear, commitments. What would society think? That's why I used the extreme example earlier of me wearing women's clothing. What would society think? What would my parents, who are long dead, would say? What would my boss say? What would all my clients say? And so you're going to die. And I'm not getting into reincarnation. I'm not getting into heaven or hell. I'm not getting any of that. Your body, your current body, the one, you know, the name Adam, my current body is going to wilter and fail and then stop functioning, having never tried on women's clothing. It's not a thing that I want to do, I'm using an example, like a tangible example of something that, you know, I think we can all agree society in almost every part of the world has not yet come to terms with being accepting of. And in fact, countries have written legislation to outright ban anything that's different like that. And is that the life you want to live? Where you miss out on being who you are because you ended up being something you're not.